Hi, it's your girl Lady Danger and you're listening to Just School Radio. Yo, them disturbing the silence. Yeah. Mad station, crazy settings, catching the eye of many. You don't know. Big up yourself, straight.
Just School Radio, disturbing the silence. Everybody turn it up loud, loud, loud. Just School Radio, mad they know.
Too bad. It's too bad, man.
Just School Radio, disturbing the silence and catching the eye of many. Stay tuned.
Yo, watching this is Skipper representing for Just School Radio. You know what I mean? Make sure you log on. You know what I mean? The baddest internet radio around town to the fullest. Global song. Just School Radio. Just School, man. That's the thing.
Yo, check us out, this is Wayne, wanna keep it locked to Just School Radio. This one is a bombshell. Wait, anyone that said that?
Yo, you're tuned in to Just School Radio.
Now lockdown is over, yeah? Lockdown is over. You wear the face mask, allegedly you wear the face mask to protect you from COVID. Yeah, and everyone's meant to wear one in the public space. If they're not exempt, look here, it says no appointments, queue, please wait here and keep your distance. Let's go it again here as well. Appointments queue, please wait here and keep your distance. Dear customer, please wait beyond the line to be called. Only 2 customers allowed in at a time. Rare tear, you can read the rest. If you can't read it, get someone to read it for you. Yeah? But then you try to go to someone, yeah, you try to go to someone about something in the council, and what are you met with? After they told us that lockdown is over, in line with the government advice on coronavirus and London's move to Tier 4, council staff are working from home as part of the national response to control the coronavirus outbreak in the UK. The customer centre is now closed. Rare tear, A, B, C, D, blah, blah. Yeah? So why do they have these signs out here for social distancing if the people are at home? It's a waste of money again. Just wasting the people's money, wasting the people's time. Yeah? They've even changed around how they've had the customer centre. Before there was a whole heap of chairs, and they made it accessible, you know, for disabled people to use it some way. They have another entrance, and now they've blacked out the windows. You have to go really close to see what's in there, and they've changed around the whole place. They've got rid of the chairs and you can sit in the front, and they've done what they want to do. As normal, councils do whatever the fuck they want to do. They don't care about you, they don't care about us. Straight, I said it. Now, for the film further nonsense. So, they film the further nonsense. So the road is being blocked because they're doing alleged gas works in Cold Harbour Lane. Yeah, it's taking quite a while, and it should have been sorted by now. But it's not. It's not, and it's disgusting. So yeah, they blocked the lane. They blocked. Come back around in a sec, and just look through Lambeth Town Hall Centre part area here and show you the other side of the council building. See up there, oh, you got orange people. Call him the orange people for now. Find out what's going on. So they can close the council, but they'll have people outside in the cold with face masks on, picking up whatever this is now. Let's see what this is. They're using a disabled person's bay for this as well. So a disabled person can't park there. What's this for?
Home testing kit.
Home testing kit, what, for Corona? Yeah. Okay. Okay. It says they're closed, but the door opened for me. Am I allowed in? Hello?
Hello, sir.
What services can I access here right now? Nothing.
Yeah,
So why did the door open for me?
Well, because they were bringing in these materials, that's why.
Oh, okay.
You can see the COVID test outside, and the center is not open since the COVID.
Oh, why is it not open though?
Well, I don't know when they're going to open it.
You don't even know. That's not on, man.
What am I going to do? I'm not the government.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying they should have information for the public. Like I'm here now. I'm asking the question.
Yes, but what do you want to do? What are you here for?
I want to learn about different various things that the Lambeth offer. What services I can receive.
Like what? Like, you know what you need. You know?
Yeah, it's for different things. I'm not. You don't really know anything, as you said.
Well,
so.
well, I don't know anything anyway. So the fact, but if you say this is why I'm here, they give us pamphlets to give to people so that they can make a call to make more inquiries.
Okay. So these are the pamphlets over here, yeah? So if that door wasn't accessible, how would I get those pamphlets?
No, you couldn't have come in because that's what I'm saying. They just didn't deliver this.
So yeah, because they're delivering that, then I wouldn't be able to access that if those deliveries wasn't there.
So I would have put it back automatic so that those coming here and then
Yeah. There's not even no signage to say information is here for blah blah blah. It's just leaflets.
Fine, that's fine. It's not for customers to go and have access to it. Like
Okay.
I said, if you tell me why you're here, or if I come to you at the door.
Okay, I want to know why they're blocking the roads.
See that they can't carry out to the COVID test.
Huh?
COVID test.
They're blocking the roads for COVID tests.
The COVID test, yeah.
So if all the bays are used and I'm a disabled user, they block the disabled parking bay for other people.
When a disabled person comes, they can deal with the person. Those who are at the entrance can deal with the person. So the
Okay.
person can be left alone.
Okay.
So any services anybody wants, they treat it according to whatever you want. You know?
Okay, so
Yes.
so we have parking, council tax, accessible transport, advice and support services. Because I'm entitled to receive all of these things, so we will take the information about these things. Alright, have a good day, eh? So, they open up for certain services, testing you for COVID and that, but they will take away disabled person's bay for this. And then tell you can't access the council building, but I just walked in there by sheer luck, because they've got deliveries of materials, and the information, you know, regarding what help you can get is inside the building, and you can't access it, yeah, because they're doing their work, and so you can't access it. But I was able to access it randomly, yeah, because they had a delivery today. I tell you, this is fake, people. You gotta get up and stand up for your rights and spread unity in the community. This is Anton Tubad DJ for JUSCOOLRADIO.com. Yo, so who are you?
My name is Dimples, also known as Angela.
Okay, so how do you feel about the LTNs?
Oh my gosh. You know, my first problem, and it will always be my first problem, is that this was all done with no consultation. It's not democratic, cool at all. it's something that everybody should have been involved in, because you're closing roads. You're actually closing roads, and you're bringing the traffic. The roads that have been closed, traffic has been displaced. But has anybody, the council, thinking about where the traffic has been displaced to? No, they haven't.
Okay, so when you did tell the council about how you felt, you was on the steps of the town hall, we done protesting and whatnot. What did the council say to you?
Basically, they said go away, because I did have a meeting with Claire Holland, and she did behave like she cared, but I think it was just a tick boxing procedure for her. I've sent emails, not just to Claire Holland, I've sent emails to Jack Hopkins, he's the leader of Lambeth Council. I've sent emails, letters, phoned my councillors, and nothing. And it really hurts me, because at the end of the day, we put these people into the positions that they're in. And to say that they don't want to hear what I've got to say is a travesty. It's a travesty.
Okay, so with the court case happening, when is that happening? Can you tell us?
Okay, so June the 9th to the 10th, we expect it to be a 2-day thing. And we have got a strong case. I don't understand why Lambeth is allowing it to go this far, because, you know, one of the things that's really hurtful is that, you know, going to court takes a lot of money, and Lambeth are using our money to go to court. The next thing, we know we're going to win, so when we win, they're going to have to pay out £35,000. Where is that money coming from? That place over there. Lambeth Town Hall, that's where it's coming from, and that's where our taxes go to. Do you know what I mean? So it's just crazy, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's so wrong.
They need to be held accountable for what they are doing. You know, 11 people out of 56 in Lambeth Council are making the decision, just 11. Do you know what I mean? There's something not right there.
Yeah, there's something totally wrong, and I'm glad that you're doing this thing, you know, fighting the LTNs. So what is next against the LTNs after that?
Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah.
I've got one question. What keeps you going?
Oh God, that I want justice. I'm standing up for my rights. As Bob Marley said, get up stand up for your rights. And I felt like my right was trampled over last year, June. Who the hell do you think you are to close my road without consulting me? No, that is what keeps me going. And I want justice, and we're going to get justice, trust me. If we don't get justice, answering your question, we are going to withhold our council tax. Where there's a collective of us that are already talking about this, and hope, you know, we pray that it doesn't happen. If we lose our case, we are going to withhold all council tax payments to Lambeth Town Hall. That's what we're going to do.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. So is there any message you want to give to the people out there watching this?
Oh my God, listen people, what you've got to do, right, you've just got to stand up. And listen, we need more people to come out. We need Lambeth to see the strength that is there. And it's got to be black, it's got to be white, it's got to be Indian, everybody. We're a community. Brixton is a community, and the people are trying to gentrify Brixton in their own little sneaky way. So what you've got to do is come out and show your face, make your voice heard.
That's right. It's Anton Too Bad DJ here on JUSCOOLRadio.com for season 2 of the London road closures. Bun LTNs.
Bun LTNs, thank you.
Thanks very much, Tim. Inspiring words, and we can really take that into account. When it comes to mayoral elections, make sure you vote for someone who is anti-LTN. And that very much seems like a completely seamless link into our next speaker today. Great pleasure to introduce and welcome Farah, who is an independent candidate standing for mayor. She has tirelessly gone and visited pretty much every single borough in the whole of London, talking to them about LTNs, talking to businesses, discussing with them, trying to find out what the issues are, and she stands on a no LTN platform. So without further ado, a huge round of applause to Farah, and we can't wait to hear what she says.
Thank you so for having me here today. Firstly, I want to say to Safia, you're an absolute inspiration to all of us. Thank you for fighting for everyone here, and we all support you. Now, I have taken the time to visit all of the boroughs, to talk to the residents, to talk to the businesses, to see what the LTNs have done, and it has caused mass destruction all over London. I cannot begin to explain the things that I have seen. I have seen councils making millions and millions of pounds from fines. Enfield Council, within 3 months, has made 1.8 million in fines. This is just giving you an idea of what is going on. Islington Council, residents are being divided, and in one particular street where there's a bollard, a private resident has put a padlock on a bollard so not even the emergency services can get through. So this is telling you the extreme measures that residents are going to keep the LTNs. But what really saddens me is seeing how people are suffering. In Woburn Forest, we obviously depend on carers. Vulnerable people depend on carers. But unfortunately, carers are now spending less time with the people that need them because they're stuck in traffic. And that is why we need to get rid of the LTNs. I am the only candidate that is standing strongly with you and committing that I will remove the LTNs. No other candidate is giving you that commitment. But I stand here to tell you, I will remove the LTNs because they are unjust, they are unlawful. Now what's the problem? The councils have stopped listening to the people. They have forgot their job is to represent all of you, but instead they're representing themselves and their own agenda. And it is time we send a message to all the political parties that we will not take it anymore. London should never have a political mayor. We need an independent mayor that stands for the people, and their agenda is the people's agenda. And that's why I am standing, because I am fed up of seeing how politicians ignore the people and do not represent us. I have heard so many stories, even in Brixton. I had the pleasure to walk around and see the problems. And in particular, Zach, are you here today? His business has been here for so many years, and just seeing what is happening down that street, they're forcing him to close. And it makes me wonder why. Could it possibly be that they want the land to build a high-rise? Let's be honest, that's what the plan is. But we can see through what their plans are. And people have the power. All of you have the power. Now, it happened in Wandsworth, but the people spoke. They were removed. Now, Harrow. I have been campaigning in Harrow a lot against the LTNs. And guess what? The people spoke and it was removed. And one by one, as your next mayor, I'm going to stand with you to make sure they are all removed. We are not Amsterdam. We cannot cycle and walk everywhere. And they need to understand that. There are more intelligent ways of dealing with pollution. But penalising motorists is not the way to go, because what we have seen is increased pollution, more time in traffic, and livelihoods of people suffering. So I want you to not give up the fight, stand together, because all of you have the power, you have the vote. So send that message that we will not take this. We will take back control of our streets. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're such a gentleman, Charlie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Farah.
Now, Railton Road is a very long road. Has lots of roads, to cut off and use. If you wanted to get to your destination, want to visit who you want to visit, go where you want to go. Use London how you want to use it. So why do they want to stop people using the roads? What benefit is it? Like, really? Because I walked up and down this road, yeah, and there's not been a lot of traffic. I feel fine, other than obviously my medical conditions, asthma and whatnot. So take it easy. And like, if I was to go now and walk, let's say Brixton High Road, I'd be smelling the fumes. It'd be hard to talk properly, and I feel really upset. So I feel like it's an attack on the people who live on the main roads, yeah, and they just want to create congestion on the main roads to introduce the further congestions to make congestion be in London more and more. Yeah, there's been so much different findings about all this bullshit they're putting out. Yeah, for example, Mercedes giving back diesel owners of a certain year money back because they was lied to about the emissions and stuff like that. So there's many findings of this being bullshit, and that's why I have to film and show you like this, because these people who run the area we live in are taking the piss, and if they continue to do so, I feel like we shouldn't even listen to them anymore and do what we want, like how they want to do what they want. They say that, yeah, you consult people at this time and this time, and they don't actually do that. This here says road ahead closed. This is here for what? This thing here, what's it for? No reason to be there. It's making it harder for people to get around. So started off in the road with it saying it's closed, but it's only that part of the road closed, not the turning to go left onto Mayall Road or the turning right to go onto Mayall Road. So if you was new to the area and is looking for somewhere, I don't know, if you wanted to, example, move into the area, then you'd think, how am I going to get around here? I have to go all the way up that road, turn left and whatnot. It makes sense. So yeah, look, perfect example, there's a house that's sold here, yeah, and I'll use that for example. So for that person, if they just say they bought the house off the internet, they've never been to the area, they would have saw that sign up there and they would have had to go around all the way down that way, or go back, turn around, go down that way, come down that road and come back up, just because of one simple sign telling you the road's closed, and it's not actually closed. So yeah, we're at the point of Shakespeare Road where they're saying enforcement cameras are live. Okay, and somebody has sprayed out this illegal sign that has been posted on this road closure. Now, I'll tell you why this is an illegal sign. Because it's an illegal sign, there's no sign in the DVLA book about driving, yeah, where this is a proper sign. This is not no illegal sign. This is an illegal sign put up by people who want to implement road closures, aka the cyclists and people like that, who want to force people to not use their cars because of their ulterior motives. So to me, I'm gonna be driving down this road. I don't care from now on. Yeah, I don't really come up this way anyway, but if I do pass around here, I'm coming up this road and I'm using the road, so that's what I pay tax for. Yeah, road open to people with kids, yeah, that's what it's showing, or people walking with a kid, people on a scooter, yeah, even though this sign up here shows a motorcycle and a car are banned from here, why can a scooter go through there? And disabled people and bicycle people. So I see that sign, I'm going to go through. It's absolutely disgusting what they've done to the area. Causing so much traffic, adding 45 minutes, 50 minutes onto people's journey. Especially essential workers like people, mechanics, tire people, delivery drivers. I myself, I was delivering blood, and they made it so hard to drive in the day that I stopped working in the day from a certain point and then signed back in at night time while I was doing that blood delivery job. Yeah, and it's a madness what the government has done to us people in the UK, us good-hearted people. And I've heard many stories as well around the world of government taking the piss and trying to introduce lockdown rules and stuff which don't really make sense, and some people ain't having it. I was speaking to somebody that's in Ghana and they're telling me, yeah, like they tried it over there and they weren't having it. So that's my message to people here in London as well as the UK. Don't have it, bro.
Okay, thank you so much, Farrell. Thank you. You know, as I've heard the last two speakers say, unity is strength. What is unity? Strength. Strength is power. And if we come together, we can take down Lambeth Council. There's only 11 in the cabinet right now making decisions. 11. There's 56 councillors and there is only 11 that are making decisions for us. It's got to stop. There's a referendum to stop that type of politics next year and you must all vote for it. Okay? Unity is strength. Strength is power, and if you believe in something, you've got to stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up for your rights. We want our streets back. Democracy is what this country is about. I am now going to introduce to you Jodie Grover from Islington. Now, Jodie was one of the very first, Islington was one of the first boroughs to have LTNs implemented, and their borough was one of the first to have their protests. So without further ado, Jodie Grover, give her a big hand of applause. There. Hello Lambeth, right? Come on! This is it. This is it. This is the start of something that you guys can actually change. When people just get a paper plate and write on it, open our streets, our children will die from pollution, stuck in traffic, that is grassroots. That's where it starts from. You've got a paper plate and you wrote your sign on a paper plate, okay? Well, Jesus is there with all of us, but yes, okay. God bless Jesus. Yes. I'll have a drop of Peckham Spring while I'm waiting then, yeah? From down the road. So, in Islington, one of the first boroughs to implement these LTNs, okay? It's exactly the same in Islington. You take it to Lambeth, you take it to Hackney, you take it to Camden, Waltham Forest, all the same. Same thing. They wake up in the morning, the roads closed, bollards, cameras, then you get the people, you go to the councillors, your local councillors who have took your vote for granted every time. They think, oh yeah, they're Labour, they'll come out and vote for me because I've got a Labour rosette, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, your councillors don't listen to you. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I paying these crooks in this town hall for? What am I, in my council tax, paying for? What am I paying for? When you don't
the people in that town who you elect, who you go and do your civic duty and vote them in, turn around and don't listen to you. Okay? You know what you get? You get people like me, who wasn't even political up until last summer. And now all of a sudden, as Patrick will tell you, now all of a sudden I'm standing as an independent councillor for Islington Council in St Peter's Ward. Okay? Yes, woo! We go, woo! Because if I can do it, and I'm not even political, the only thing I do is love my borough and love the city I live in. Okay? So if you love Lambeth and you love London, then you can do what I've done. Costs you nothing. Okay, to stand for election, you need 2 people in the ward to nominate you. And then you get nominated, you get your forms filled in, you become an official candidate. The rosettes cost a few quid, flyers, pay for it all out of your own pocket. But we've got a group of people around us, One London, the Lambeth group, the Hackney group, they're all behind us, all with information and pushing this forward. And this is a movement, and if I get in, and I really hope I do, because on the 6th of May, when we're at Ali Pali having the count, I want to be elected in St Peter's Ward to show you people, to show you that yes, you can do it. As a grassroots, you can do it. Doesn't matter what colour skin you are, whether you're old, you're young, what you do for a living, it don't matter. You can stand for election. You can go in that town hall, you can sit in that chamber and call them out for what they are. Crooks. That's what they are. They're crooks, and all they want to do is take. They want to take your money by a penalty charge. How many of you got PCN? How many of you got parking ticket going through these LTNs? How many of you got one? How about the school streets? How many of you got one from the school streets? Hey? And what does that stop? Doesn't stop the kids getting run over, does it? No. Because the school streets tomorrow just get a ticket 3 days later. So how's that helping children? It ain't. It's helping the council fill up their coffers. Okay? And you're sitting here now, look at it. The traffic going up Acre Lane. The traffic going up there. We've seen the ambulances get stuck. But then they tell you, oh, don't worry. We put the LTN in. It's all going to vanish. It'll vanish. It'll go poof. And it won't go poof, I'll tell you. Because it doesn't go anywhere. It sits on these roads, and the poor people who live in Acre Lane now, in them houses there, have to have this noose of pollution right round their neck all day long. And the council will tell you, no, it's okay because it's a main road. No, it isn't okay. It isn't okay whatsoever. Pardon? There's no science. It's not science, it's just greed. It's money, and it's how to keep people of the working class and the people who, just go and work to try and earn a living, normal day-to-day things, is the way to keep them under the cosh. Because they don't want people to be able to go and earn a living. They want you to all be, and they're calling themselves. This is what these are, they're selves. And it is, and then you get the social gentrification of an area where you remove a community that's been in this area for God knows how long, and then you start changing things, and you get trendy shops and this, and then the people think, oh, where do I go? I don't go anywhere. But this is all stems from these town halls. Islington, Hackney, Lambeth, and you know what? The other thing, they're all Labour. And Sean Bailey, I'm really gutted he didn't wait, because I was going to have him, I was going to ask him, the money comes from central government, the Tory party, got this money, they pulled this money out of a magic money tree and said, here you go. And then the Labour Council said, oh yeah, come on in. And he took all the money. But then Sean Bailey said, oh, I'll take away. No, Sean, your party, put them in, give them the money. Give them the money. And then the Labour went, okay, we'll have that. So the ward I'm representing in Islington has got 34% child poverty. Across Islington, it's 30%. 4% more child poverty in Islington. Yet the council will turn around and say, oh, because of the cuts and all this, that, the other, Well, they was quick to run to the council and get the money to put goddamn bollards in the road and planters that would just divide communities, ruin people's lives, and restrict people's movement when you have the freedom of choice. And that's what they do. Well, no, not well, I don't know. I pretend I didn't hear that, but the crowd did. But so that's me done. So I'm hoping on the 6th of May that the good people of St Peter's Ward in Islington actually vote for an independent. Think, you know what? Send him in there, cause mayhem. Get him in that town hall, in his town hall, cause a storm. Because if I can cause a storm, then it only takes one of you to get in there and cause a storm. Call them out. Get all the information, broadcast it to everyone. You don't have to wait for freedom of information, don't do nothing. Get the information, tell it, you know? This is what they're doing, this is what Glenn Holland says, this is what Richard Watt says. So call them out. But you won't be able to do it unless you stand up for yourselves and do it for yourselves. Because, trust me, I'm just a normal bod, right? And this isn't really my game. But you know what? I'm going to get in that town hall and I'm going to make it my game. And I'm going to turn them upside down. And I'm hoping that I start to be the domino effect. Because if I take one seat in a town hall, then hopefully others, and hopefully Farrah London gets elected as an independent mayor for London. Because that's what we need. We've had 4 years of Ken, 4 years of Boris, 5 years of Khan. Well, let's have 3 years of London and make it a better place for all of us. Thank you, Brixton. Thank you, Lambert. Thank you, Angela. God bless you all.
Perfect, Robbie, absolutely fantastic speech.
Okay, look, Spencer Road. They all should have that same sign, you know, if that's what they want to do, you know, through Shakespeare Road, blah, 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 ABC, yeah? But they've got except for access, and that's the only sign on the road. Only sign on the road. There is no restricted turning signs, nothing, right? It says except for access. Tiring work, it's got to be done, man. Got to spread the unity in the community. Yeah, because they don't want us to be joining up and linking up. It seems like they want us to all be apart. But yeah, this road says except for access. But as we all know from what I've been filming and what you've been told by your local council in London, that you're not allowed to access Shakespeare Road or use it. But there is no sign stating that to you. There is no sign here. Bus drivers having a chat, causing traffic. Yeah? They get to use whatever road TfL determines, but they can just hold up the traffic and have a chat, bro. That's not on. Hurry up, man, and start having a chat. After you're blocking people from using the road. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Let me grind my gear for a second. That really grinds my gears, you know, when you see the bus driver stopping to have a chat, bro. Drive the bus. You've got people on the bus who want to use the bus, innit? So drive the bus. Don't come and stop and have a chat with your other bus driver mate while you're at work. Yeah, there's other road users as well that want to use the road. Stop doing that. That's really annoying, man. I hate seeing that, man. Yeah, so we move. So total LTN no fee from 28th of September. So they don't even have the correct date. It just says 28th of September. That's because they want to fool you, lot probably, yeah? They done that in 2020. So don't think, yeah, they can try and tell me now that they're doing a consultation from blah 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 from September to blah 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 21. Well, let them try that. Yeah, they have incorrect place signs all over the place. But yeah, what do you mean? So here's that sign again. No food ahead for motor vehicles from the 28th of September. But this is a controlled zone, and it's controlled zone Q, and up there it says no through route ahead for motor vehicles. So I'm feeling a bit tired. Yeah, done a lot of walking today, so I'm gonna go charge up my phone, yeah, and then come back out later on, film some more stuff, yeah. People, make sure you go check out season 1 of the London Road closures. We've got protests on there, we've got doctors, we've got elderly people, we've got all different types of people from the community talking about how they feel about these road closures. And that started in 2020, May, even before then maybe. I know I've done a lot of filming, and I know I saw a lot of changes on the roads all around London, because I was doing blood delivery, yeah, and I encountered many different things. Also encountered many different COVID-19 stupidness as well, yeah, and I'll probably put that out if I don't go to court with that one, yeah. But yeah, stay tuned, people. Stay tuned. You wouldn't really know that the road ahead is allegedly closed, even though people pay permit holders, BR, BB, BIR and BIB pay for this road, but their road now is essentially closed, so refund their money please. Yeah, cool. We wouldn't know that this road is closed, but allegedly it's closed. Closed for what? What is this in aid of? For me to walk in the middle of the road that I wasn't designed for? Because there's a pavement that's designed for me to walk on, designed for people to walk on. These roads should be for bicycles, cars, all vehicles with wheels, in my opinion, yeah, to use. Anything that can move you should be able to use it on the road, in my opinion, in my honest opinion. Electric scooter, all of them things. But the right safety precautions have to be put in place like they would do with a car. So you'd have your seat belt, you have all of these different things, your brakes, all this type of stuff. I think electric scooters, they should all have mirrors. Bicycles, they should have mirrors also. They should have the necessary precautions to prevent injury or death, yeah? So they really need to address these issues, because the world is a very big place, and these people restricting it just shows how much of an unfriendly world we live in, because they want to make people's life a living hell and stop people from driving so they can get away with what they want. That's my honest opinion about that. I could really go into it, but I'm not going to, yeah, until I feel that the time is necessary. Yeah, and this is the road closure documentary, so I'm going to keep it to a minimum for now. But my main points are that these roads don't need to be closed, man. There's absolutely no need for it. No need for it, man. It's really not benefiting nobody other than the government and their pockets, the council and their pockets, Sadiq Khan and his pockets, Boris Johnson and his pockets, all of them, bruv. TfL, £15 congestion charge every day from 7 a.m. in the morning till 10 at night. Are they mad? And they want to make it further. Who can afford £15 a day in lockdown under certain circumstances to use something they've been using already? Why should a car user have to pay for somebody else's travel? Why should I have to pay your bus fee or your train fee? It's disgusting what they've done to the community. Your streets, your way. Not everyone's streets, everyone's way. It's your streets who for your way, if you think in a particular way, and that's about being part of the green recovery. Look, this is their number. What authority do these people have over deciding how your roads are designed? And why should we give them the authority for this? It's disgusting. You want my opinion on how these roads should be sorted out? Stop making all these fucking restrictions, man. Yeah, that's how you'll cause less traffic. Stop with all these fucking traffic lights. Every minute, like, you go down the road, there's a whole heap of traffic lights. It's ridiculous. Not everyone is crossing the road all the time. Like, reduce the amount of traffic lights there is and how long the traffic lights are on for. Then you might see some less restriction. Because people would be where they need to be at. They wouldn't be stuck in traffic. There wouldn't be traffic jams piling up.
We have another special guest who's going to speak to us now. It's a chap called David Smith. Now, just going to bit of a break to you. David is a cyclist. Okay? No, but David is a cyclist. He's also an environmentalist. He has a conscience, he has a brain, and he understands that these things do not work, and he understands that this is not the way to implement further cycling. So I'd really ask you to give David a huge warm hand and listen to him, because he speaks an enormous amount of sense about what's happening at the moment. So David, you can come up and tell us what you think.
Good afternoon, Lambeth. My name is David Smith. As he said, I'm a cyclist. I cycle, my family cycles. I've started a campaign called Little Ninja UK around 4 years ago because I discovered that my children were likely to have around 14% reduced lung capacity because of where we live. We live in Wandsworth on the A3, and we used to come down here, get the bus from Wandsworth, go down the Brixton Road to Stockholm State Park, and suddenly discovered that actually Brixton Road is the most polluted road in the UK, and A3 and the South Circular Road ridiculously polluted as well. So this is the air that we're breathing. So I started campaigning to change that, and over those 4 years I kind of uncovered that children, as I discovered, are most at risk. They're closer to the vehicle exhaust pipe, they breathe 2 or 3 times more rapidly than we do as adults. Their immune system isn't as developed, so what they breathe in stays in, and what they're breathing is high concentrations of nitrogen dioxide and what they call particulate matter, which is this small microscopic stuff that comes from brake wear, tyre wear, road surface wear, gets into the lungs, gets into the bloodstream, and where blood goes, this stuff goes. And that means it also goes into the blood-brain barrier, and we're talking about neurological development, impairment, IQ, and so on and so forth. So, you know, what's happening to our children in this country is terrible. And when we look to say, well, when is their greatest exposure? Well, it's actually on the school run, morning rush hour. And that makes sense, because that's when traffic is so heavy and that's when things are so busy. And they ask, well, where is the greatest exposure? And it's on main roads like these. So when we know that our children are exposed to this pollution, and we know actually it's not just children, obviously it's adults as well. We as adults, if you live on a main road, you're around 10%, up to 10% more likely to die of cancer, heart attack, stroke, just because of the air you're breathing. Long-term exposure also means you're more likely to die of COVID-19. So when they come up with a COVID-19 response, and it's to close side roads and push more traffic onto the main roads, it should be ringing alarm bells that something's terribly wrong. And then you start looking and say, well, who is it who's benefiting from this? Because actually 92% of cars are owned by people who live on side roads, in which case then these are the most responsible for this high pollution. They're least affected because pollution on these side roads is half as much as it is on the main roads, and yet they're closing these side roads and pushing this pollution to where our children and us as adults are more exposed. And then you look to say, well, who's on these main roads? Now, disproportionately, we know that black people and the poor suffer more air pollution than white people and affluent people. So you look around, you think, well, if your job's a bus driver, you're on these busy roads. Now don't forget that the red routes are 5% of London's roads, but take 30% of traffic. So if you're a bus driver, you are stuck in this congested traffic, breathing this dirty air more than anyone else. If you're a street cleaner, if you work in these shops, then again, more likely to be ethnic minority and poor. So when we look at the schools, now the most polluted schools are on main roads, and 80% of those schools are deprived schools, poor and ethnic minority children. So it's not a doubt of whether or not black people and poor people are more exposed. They are. However, when I raised this last year, the impact, the kind of negativity, the kind of trolling and the behaviour and the bullying and the harassment I have received from London Cycling Campaign was horrific, ridiculous, simply because I raised my hand and said, hang on a second, we need to look at this because this is a concern. I got called an idiot, and I got told I was disingenuous as an air pollution campaigner, and so on and so forth. I got told I was a charlatan for raising this. So I did a poll, and I very quickly asked, we know that black people live in more areas of high pollution and congestion. Do people agree with this? And 70% said yes, they did agree. And straight away, we started hearing again from London Cycling Campaign, charlatan, idiot, and all this kind of stuff. But then I kind of flagged up that on their own website, on their Black Lives Matter page, it says exactly that. It actually says the poor, the BME, are more likely to live in areas of air pollution, bad air pollution. So the next thing we saw, and you probably may have seen it, was a headline in the Guardian newspaper saying low traffic neighbourhoods or low traffic schemes benefit everyone. Do they benefit everyone? And yet, this is the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, a national newspaper, coming up with this headline. So I thought, well, okay, who's the journalist? Have a look on Google. The journalist is friends with London Cycling Campaign. They campaign together, they turn up at meetings, they talk about pushing forward without consultation. Sound familiar? So I think, alright, that's your headline. Where's the underpinning kind of research? So I look and there's a paper, and the paper doesn't actually say this. The paper talks about inside LTNs, and everybody's nice and happy inside, everything's fair inside, not outside. Outside we can tell what's happening. So I look at further and I think, well, who's writing this paper and why would they write that? Because the study that the paper is based on shows black people are more likely to live on main roads. And actually, if you think about what we just said, more likely to work on main roads, more likely to work on main roads, more likely to be waiting at the bus stop next to this congested traffic. Children more likely to go to these schools. So I look to say, well, who is this person? And I find out all of these LTN, all of the kind of research is being done by the same team, and the same person's name keeps popping up. And when you look to see this, and you look in Google again, you find out it's the former Director of Policy for London Cycling Campaign, who's now doing research to support her own policy. And you're like, that brazen, that blatant, you can really do that? Is that the way it works? And she's getting funding by TfL, by Department for Transport, funding someone to do research on their own policy. So there's a system that's taking place here that allows this to happen. It's a system that actually having a detrimental effect on the black community, actually saying this is where traffic belongs in your community. So that's when we start talking around systemic racial and social injustice. Yeah? Now the fact that this is around air pollution means that this is about our environment. And when you talk about environmental injustice, you're also talking about environmental racism. Now, I don't use this word lightly. People talk about racism, heckles come back in the back of their head, get a bit, but it has to be spoken about. Because when you have a system where your councillors are in their place and they're thinking about what are we going to do for a COVID response, and you look around the table, and I've seen the video where she's saying who she relies on, it's Mums for Lungs, it's Living Streets, it's London Cycling Campaign. And I look around at you guys and I see the diversity of London. I look around that table, I don't. They do not represent London. They do not represent London's diversity. So the decisions they're making, they don't include your views, they don't include your desires. And I know that without actually checking too far, because would you agree to increase your own air pollution exposure? Would you agree to increase your children's air pollution exposure? Would you agree to close the quiet, affluent, leafy side road and push all the traffic onto the main road where most people are? And yet, that's what they're doing. So to me, that's part of the system when I say systemic racism, when I say social injustice. So, just to finish, as I said before, I mean, I cycle, my family cycle, I do think cycling and walking, of course, we need to make sure we do that. I like the fact that we've got one of the best bus networks in the world, but 99% of buses are diesel, and diesel exhaust is carcinogenic, so, you know, things aren't as rosy as they make out. But, to finish off, I love London, I was born in London, I'm raising a family of my own, I've got 3 kids under 7 years old, they're breathing this air. My concern for them is if we want to have an unjust city in terms of the stuff I've just been talking about, we don't have to do anything because it's already coming, it's already taking place, and it will just continue. It will start with low traffic neighbourhoods where a small minority, influential, affluent are able to make these kind of decisions without taking into account the views of people, without democratic, without doing equality impact assessment, just push it and impose it through. This will be what will go on and on and on and on and on. I'm sorry, that's not the London I love. That's not the London I want for my kids. Yeah? I want to see a prioritisation of the vulnerable, protecting those most in need, the poor, protecting the elderly, the disabled, prioritising our children. That's the point where we're here. We're supposed to look after our kids and make sure they grow up healthy, not stunted lung growth with an egg-sized chunk missing from their lungs, because that's what we're talking about. If we want that, we want a just city, we have to fight for it. We have to stand up and we have to talk about it. Now, when I was on the steps last time, I asked that everybody, it's your responsibility. We know what you think, but what do your friends think? What do your colleagues think? If each of you can go and find 10 people, talk to them like I've talked to you, tell them about the social injustice, tell them about the environmental racism, talk to them, change their minds, and ask them to talk to 10 as well, and suddenly we will start having the numbers that we need to really change this. Yeah? When it comes time to vote, it's been said, please vote for candidates who are against LTNs. Make your voice heard. Thank you very much, everybody. Cheers.
So thanks so much, David. Just remember on Twitter you can follow David if you go onto Little Ninja, that's his handle. Some really, really interesting stats there. He works tirelessly to constantly ensure that the correct information gets out there, because as well we know at the moment what is coming from the council is not the right information, and they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes on a regular basis.
If I jump and step across the border, them woulda bright face the outer order. Just cool at the dada. We bury any jump and frown here.
Yeah, you know it's just cool. Yeah, you know it's just cool radio.
Hey, you are listening to Just Cool. You better be listening to it right now. Just Cool Radio.
Just Cool Radio. When they go let me that song, them can't cool, them can't tame, them get wild.
Tune in to Just Cool Radio.
Do you know Just Cool Radio? Yeah. Tune in.
Where them take we for them things them man a walk over. This a thing can't talk over. From Just Cool Radio band them a real soldier. See the line there, don't try cross over.
Hey, Just Cool. Jaja guide us from the storm in your arms. Keep us safe and warm from all arms.
Hear me and say no man you don't know say a girl Kim right about now me a big up Just Cool Radio.
Just Cool Radio say make them talk, keep them talking, yeah. We've got a lot more coming. Spring Water represent for Just Cool Radio. Basic fire radio.
I've been told this by to information, and I've been told to tell you, yeah, that you don't move your thumb.